It's time!
Oh yeah, it's time for Miss Lou Champion Sports Talk with me, Ronnie Calhoun, and the legend, Joey Martin. It's entertaining, informative, and sometimes a little crazy.
These two guys when I had hair.
For me, it was just all about being coachable, being approachable, being a good team guy, and being what I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be.
Where they getting the hair from?
I think they took it from his lower back.
Okay.
And they moved it to the top. Hey guys, before we get started, we want to tell you about our champion partners. Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Blue Chair Bay Rum, J&J Flooring and Natural Stone, Concordia Bank, and all of our awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them and tell them Miss Lou Champion sent you. Enjoy the show. All right, guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. Back in the studio with my man Joey Martin.
Glad to be back, brother.
I know we had a week off, but back for another version of Champion Sports Talk, brought to you by Magnolia Bluff Casino and driven by Sango GMC, our buddy Mart Sanguinetti. And just want to say thank you to all of our military men and women out there, veterans and the ones currently serving. Thank you for what you do. We always like to start the show like that.
Absolutely.
And,
especially this time of year.
Especially this time of the year. A lot of people away from their families. Yeah. And also, since before we get started, also a lot of hurting families out there this time of the year, man. The poor Brian family, keep them in your prayers. Sweet little Lily Ann, man. Just a tough time of the year for a lot of people.
Right. Jason McFarland.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So many, man. But it's a great time of the year, but it's also hard for a lot of people.
You're right.
So keep those guys, keep everybody in your prayers, and we'll do the same. What we got on the local scene?
Well, we got round.
Before we get to that, we got a big show today. But we've got our buddy Tom Graning in the house today. You called me and said that talked about the trip that they went on with their family, him and his sisters, to honor his dad. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, yeah, man, I don't know why we didn't think about that before, but yeah, so that was a great call by you on that one.
I mean, it's Al Graning I had the most respect for, refereed, mm-hmm. in the SEC for like 30 years, and he was one of the most respected officials out there, and just everybody who knew him loved him, and we're glad he was out there calling their game. Yeah. I'm looking forward to see what old Tom is our Go Mart on the Go Deli and Wardo's partner, and we spend a lot of time in his businesses. I'm sure we'll get some good Christmas vacation stories.
I'm sure, probably so. So, but before we get Tom on, what are we looking like on the local scene?
On the round ball has been full effect lately. We're going to start with the Natchez High boys. Are 8-3. They beat Wilkinson County 71-21 Tuesday night. The girls are 8-4. They beat Wilkinson County 61-25. We also got the Vidalia boys at 5-9. They're playing in the Rabel tournament right now. Faraday boys are 12-3. They beat the defending Division III state champion last night in the Gina tournament. So great. Faraday boys.
No, I'm saying who did they beat?
Oh, Marksville. They beat Marksville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Marksville was 5, Faraday's 3. So great win for them. And they're actually playing Avoyles Charter Friday night and tonight, and they won Class Division 4 or 5.
Okay.
In select. So.
Well, you told me before the year started that you expected Faraday to have a team this year.
They have really shown. They got a couple of sophomores leading them too, so they're going to be around to stay for a while.
Yeah.
Monterey boys 3-8. What a job they do over there. Poor Eric Richard. He does such a great job with what he has, and they're just kind of, how that it goes. You just up and down, but they're going to be back. Delta Charter boys 1-6, but poor Richie Spears. He's walked into a tough situation. Mm-hmm. But he does a great job. Vidalia girls 3-8. Faraday girls lost their first game last night, 6-1. And Tashandra McKeel is doing a great job there, her first year. Delta Charter girls 1-7, Monterey girls 8-4, AC boys 12-4. They've been playing good ball, and our buddy Andy Magoon's son, Jack Magoon, I think he has 999 career points. So next game he'll have 1,000. Cathedral girls have been playing well, 14-5, and they've surprised. The Cathedral boys 6-9. So just some good basketball out there.
Yeah, there's also a kid that I saw just from Facebook post over in Block that looks like
that's Christian
looks like a real good player.
Yeah, he's the quarterback. He was a quarterback.
Okay,
heck of a quarterback.
Yeah,
man, had a great arm, and he's just so mobile. But great kid. Yeah, he's doing a great job for them.
Yeah.
And of course, we had Kobe Dillon who went to Faraday at Southern. He entered the transfer portal. We'll talk more about that later with Tom.
Yeah,
but so just a lot of stuff going on.
He have any?
He hasn't said yet. I think they just wait and see, who's interested and show me the money.
Yeah, man, what a time to be a player, a fan, or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's about all I got.
Okay, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with our buddy Tom Graning.
All right.
Playtime, game time. Anytime is a good time at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. Unwrap excitement with our $15,000 Christmas cash drawings, a prize-packed New Year's Eve celebration, and our ATV giveaway on January 1st. 'Tis the season for winning at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Graning at Go Mart and On the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
Guys, Ronnie and Shannon here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we're here at our amazing partners, Gregg Veterinary Hospital.
Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002.
They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care.
Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans.
And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too.
So call Gregg Vet today.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.
All right, guys, we are back with our good buddy Tom Graning in the house. How are you, man?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you being here. We got our Go Mart hat right there,
Yes, sir.
representing,
Yes, sir.
as always. Joey, this is a cool story that you kind of called me one day and said, hey, let's get Tom in and talk about that story. And I was like, man, why didn't we think of that already? So you want to get us started here?
Yeah, and we're going to talk about a trip Tom took with some of his family members to all the SEC schools.
A few, yeah.
And because his dad, how long did your dad referee?
Close to 30 years.
30 years, wow. I want to tell you one thing, first of all. I love talking to your dad.
Thanks.
I'd ask him a question, and he'd get that pensive look, like thinking about it and give the greatest answers.
He had a lot of stories.
He sure did. He sure did. But anyway, y'all made like a Chevy Chase road trip.
It was very much like that.
But went to all the SEC schools, and you just take it from here, Tom.
Yeah, my dad died in 2018, and he gave his body to science. So we were a couple of years after that getting his remains, getting his ashes. So we in 2021, we decided me and my 4 sisters and 2 nieces, to go on a little road trip in the RV and kind of take his ashes and kind of spread them at different schools that he officiated games at. And so it was in 2021. We loaded up the RV, and we'd planned out some places to go and stuff, and we took off early one morning and loaded it up in the RV. And the first year we went straight to Oxford, spent some time there. My son Thomas was there, and he got us in with some people, and we took tours of the facilities, and which was really, really, really cool. Being able to, the girls, I've seen a lot of it, but the girls being able to see the ins and outs of college football, and so we got some tours and did our duty with that. Left there, went to. Let me get this straight. We drove up to Chattanooga. And my dad had gone to school at Baylor in Chattanooga, and went to high school there for a while. And so that was another stop. So we were able to tour that, and none of us had been there really. So we went and looked at that place and toured that and did what we were doing with him. And then
that's right there on the river, right? Their stadium, yeah.
It's a small little place, Baylor.
I thought you meant the UT stadium.
We're heading there next.
Okay.
So we left there.
Chattanooga. I'm sorry.
Chattanooga. Yeah, we left there and went to UT.
Yeah, Knoxville.
So did you contact these people before?
Yeah, someone we contacted before, and to see if we could just get in on some tours, and they were a lot of them were very gracious.
A lot of them remember your dad.
Yes, a couple places did. Couple places did, and so that was pretty cool. And so we went to Knoxville, and we stayed in an RV park there, and rented a car. Well, we rented a car in Chattanooga and drove it with us with RV to Knoxville, and Knoxville was a lot of fun because my dad
Knoxville, the stadium's right there.
Yeah, right there on the river, and my dad grew up in Knoxville. That's where he was actually born. I think he may have been born here and moved to Knoxville, but my grandparents had a paint store there, and it's still there. Actually, still named Graning Store, Graning Paint. And we have a cousin that lives there still. So we went on a big tour of that. Went through, saw where he was born, where he was raised, the school he went to when he was growing up, and a lot of us. I mean, we did that when we were real little, but a lot of us had forgotten everything about it. So, but that was pretty neat. But took some pretty good tours of Tennessee. So
it's beautiful to get out there.
It is. It really is. Made our way back to. No, actually, I'm sorry. I said that wrong. We went to Tuscaloosa first and did that, and then left there, went up. Then on the way back, we came to Oxford. We spent the night in Oxford and did that trip, and left Oxford and came down to Baton Rouge.
Which Tuscaloosa had to be cool with your dad brother.
Yeah, it was. We didn't get the access we'd liked from Tuscaloosa. That's the only thing. The first time we went, they were having some type of little camp out there, so we just couldn't get the tour. So we did our own little tour around everything. Just couldn't get into the facilities.
Wow.
Which was kind of upsetting, but that's what it is. But we made our way to Baton Rouge and did our trip there, and we had great access there. Coach Sam Nader gave us our tour, and he's been around since I was in high school.
Man, I tell you what, Mr. Nader was around. I used to work in catering whenever I was in college there, and I was around the football team a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of the finest men you'll ever meet right there.
Very good man.
Yeah.
Very good man. And like I said, I've still got letters that he wrote me when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Recruiting letters, and it was it was pretty cool. But he remembered, I've seen him over the years down there, and he's always gracious with his time, but that was pretty neat. And then we left there on our way home and came back home for that one.
So this was 2 trips that you did.
Yeah, that was the first trip.
That was the first trip, yeah.
And then we waited till 24 this past summer.
Yeah.
And we planned this one out, and we took my nephew's wife, who was a videographer, and they wanted to do a little some type of little documentary of it. And my niece, my niece, and so we planned it out and started off again, same type of way, just added a person to it. and we took off and went to Alabama again. Still no luck.
Wow.
Still no luck. No, Saban was right after he retired.
Okay.
We're gonna have to call our buddy Ty Carpenter and see if he can.
Yeah, we tried to do some things, and it didn't work. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. So we still did the little things there, and left there. Went to Auburn. Auburn was great. The access they gave us there was incredible. Loved it.
And you didn't have any problems with the Ashes doing that part?
Quietly.
Quietly?
Nobody knew where or when. So let me put it that way.
I wasn't even going to ask that question. I'm glad you did.
Quietly, nothing was done. But quietly.
I didn't want to be a part of like a lawsuit
kind of like
or
you said,
anything.
to kind of distract here and do something there. But
What is
for
this?
future trips, no, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So we left there and headed over to Georgia, and we stayed. We stayed in Stone Mountain, a little RV park there, and
That's a pretty part of the country too.
Yeah, we rented a car, two cars actually, and parked the RV there and left it and drove over to Athens, and had great access there too.
Okay.
They gave us great tours. We learned a lot of. That's the first time I'd actually been to Athens, and it was it's an incredible facility.
It's a really cool town too.
Yeah, it's a really cool town, but incredible facilities. We learned a lot about the stadium. We were out on the field doing all that. Just incredible time. You're going to have to edit this really because I cut. We went to Mississippi State first on the first one. The second one. I'm just getting all screwed up.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, we went to Starkville on the second trip. That's where our first thing was.
That's when you started.
Yes, and Starkville was really good too.
Yeah,
we got good access there, and like I said, the Alabama was the only one we had trouble getting access. All the other ones we talked to before, and they were able to take us in the field, take us to the locker rooms, take us up through the stadium.
Did you get to meet any head coaches?
No. None of those. They were all busy during those times.
Did you guys just do like the SEC schools when he was referee? Like
yeah, a lot of the ones he's done games at.
Okay, so you didn't do maybe like South Carolina.
We haven't been there. We the first trip we took a few. We knew there were basics. The second trip we kind of expanded it out.
Yeah.
That's when we went to Georgia. But we did Georgia, learned all that, and then came back to Georgia Tech. And we tried to get access to Georgia Tech for my Uncle Chick.
Right.
But we couldn't get the access that time. So that was shut on short notice on that one. But we did tour some of the stuff at Georgia Tech.
What surprised you the most about this trip? Any particular place or
no, I guess it had been a few years since I'd been to a few of them. And just seeing the upgrades of facilities. I've been through LSU's, so I knew all that. So I knew everybody was probably pretty much
keeping up with
the Joneses. And
it's an
but it is an arms race,
yeah.
and some of the facilities were really incredible. How they treat these kids at college, what they get, it's incredible.
Just a little side note, but I want to hear your thoughts on this, and we'll get back to this story. But I was just thinking the other day. All these schools have put so much money into the facilities and all that, and people used to go to school because of the facilities.
That's changing.
So do you think that the facilities will kind of
it's going to take? I think it'll take
stay where they are for a while.
Well, they'll stay where they are, but they'll take a little backseat to it.
Yeah. So you think that money's going other? Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
I think like what they were saying about Coach Kelly matching the $1 million, he can't give to the NIL.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So his money, I think, would go to things like that, projects, things that the football facility would need. That's what that's why I take it.
Yeah. So you agree? Like you think the facility race will kind of slow down?
I think it'll slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they can get any better than they've got. Most of them are better than the pro teams. I mean, I think probably 95% of the colleges are better than pro facilities right now.
Did your dad have a favorite place to go?
I'm going to say LSU because he was there so much.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that was actually his favorite place. He loved going to Kentucky. That's of all the trips. My mom would make that trip with him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she really didn't go anywhere else with him. But if he went to Kentucky or Tennessee, and Tennessee was always a favorite too because he grew up there, so he still knew a lot of people around there. But I went on a few trips with him to Tennessee when I was in high school when he was refereeing, and they were really. He one of his best friend growing up lived on the Tennessee River, so they took the boat to the stadium and all that, and it was always pretty cool. So
How long did he referee?
Close to 30 years, I think, with this.
Wow, in the SEC for 30 years?
He did high school around here and then moved up to the SEC. And he was just, like I said, he after he was retired from, they made you retire at 55, I think, back then. And even though he could have kept going for years, but he after he retired, they hired him on as a consultant or basically as an observer. He would go to games and critique the officials and meet with them afterwards and give them their grades and do all that.
I was about to joke that a pilot, they'll let you fly a plane full of people until you're 70. SEC football, you got to
cut you off at 55, and he was as good a shape he was
He
ever
was
in.
so well respected, but was there any coach he didn't like to deal with? Did he ever say it?
I don't know if he ever said a coach he never liked. I can't think of one. I'm sure my sisters, when you talk to them,
they would probably spill a whole lot more.
They will. They will because they.
Do you remember do you remember when he started? What does he reference when you were born?
When I was little.
Okay, so your whole life,
the whole life I knew. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. That's how I became really an LSU fan. As a toddler, just being able to go down with him because he would go and do all their scrimmages during the week because he was so close. He was the head official to do all that, to line it up.
So he did Bear and Charlie Mack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you would get the behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, I did back then, especially back then because the access was a lot greater than it is now.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have sideline passes. I would go and go to games with him and help be a ball boy.
Wow.
And stuff like that.
That's pretty sweet.
Really cool. It was, my cousin used to go with me all the time, and we'd go to games. I remember going to Memphis. I think I want to say Memphis and Vanderbilt played, or it may have been Vanderbilt, Tennessee that played in Memphis. I can't remember, but going to that game and being a part of that, and being on the field for it and all that. But it was always, I always had access when I go with them because I'd ride with them to the games in their vans and stuff, police escorts, and just go through stay on the field the whole time. I didn't have to have a ticket to the game, which was pretty cool. I remember that's where I got to meet Bear Bryant doing that.
Wow.
And it was going out on the field and him being right about the goalpost.
And I'm sure he would say that let's talk about the officials, a better job you did, right?
Yes. Yes. You always say that. That's why I never got into officiating. Because I sat in the stands many times where I don't want people talking about me like that. So I didn't. I really never took a liking to doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I always knew the rules well enough to do it, but I just didn't. I don't know. It was something I'd never liked. But he took it because he got criticized all the time. I mean, it was, and thankfully it was before instant replay.
I thought you were saying internet too.
No, internet and instant replay. These guys have got it tough now.
Oh yeah.
To be able to make a call like that where 15 cameras
in real time,
and 15 cameras, you think you see it in real time while you're watching it on TV. You think you see it in real time doing that was an easy call, and then it was a bad call or something, and you go back and look at it when they do all the replays, and you're like, oh. He got that right.
There's been many
really
times
got that
as an
right.
LSU fan, I'm like, what are you
doing?
And then they show the replay. I'm like,
I guess I better take that
pretty
back.
good call.
Well, you didn't have the bottle throwing back then either.
No, you didn't. You didn't, and that was thank goodness.
But we were really blessed to have your dad and of course Andy Prescott.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they did that the officiating conference every year.
Right. Southwest
Coaches and Officials Clinic, and that brought in people from all over.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a big event, and
here in town.
Yes, here in town. They brought in there was like an officials clinic, It was before the season.
You
It
had
was during
West
the summer.
Monroe
before the season,
coaches, Baton Rouge coaches.
Oh,
all
it
that.
was some college coaches come in. It was officials from all over. They would come and attend, and it's basically
It
a
was
little
awesome.
like a trade show or a conference or a clinic for officials, and it was well attended. It was a big event.
Well, one of my favorite stories, I was talking to Andy, and he got to work, I think it was Fiesta Bowl, Oklahoma and Miami.
My dad did.
Oh, your dad did?
My dad did Penn State and
Okay.
Penn State, Miami, national championship game.
Well, this was
oh wow, that's pretty sweet.
yeah.
It was.
Well, this was Miami and Oklahoma, and Oklahoma had Brian Bosworth.
Yes.
And Miami was Miami.
That's right. Miami was
So
Miami.
Andy said he went toward the team. I want both team captains before the game, and I want to talk to y'all. And he told him, he said, I don't want any extra activity. I don't want any trouble. And he said, Bosworth looked at him and said, you're going to have a whole lot of trouble out of me. And he said, and he did.
He did. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Sir, I'm just going to let you know in advance.
We're going to have problems today. Well, that's what the officials, I think they should do. They set the tone early, because that's what happens in a lot of these games.
Exactly.
Is that the officials let these little things get away early on, and they blow up.
See that in high school
all the time.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot.
So with your background, you growing up with just being around the SEC school, that's pretty cool for a kid, but you probably just thought it was normal.
I did. I mean, I went to so much stuff that
running down to the game to practice.
I would go down with him. Yeah. So it was always cool. It was just being a part of it. I was there when Charlie Mack was there. Never forget walking in and having I broke my arm my 8th grade year in high school, and going into the locker room, having Charlie Mack sign on, all that stuff going on.
Cool.
It was always pretty cool.
So I think what you were kind of getting at a while ago is like you growing up with it and all of that. When you went back and did this particular trip, like you were talking about a while ago, getting some of the inside stuff, did that change any of your views of like what you thought about the Georgia football program or the Ole Miss program?
No, not really. Not about the program itself, because I knew they're all. I mean,
did you learn
they're in
new
SEC?
things?
Yeah, I learned a lot of new things. But they're in SEC. They're going to be great and respected, and so I didn't. I mean, I learned about the facilities. I guess I expected it, but being able to see it is it's incredible. And being on the field at some of those places where. A couple of those places I've never been on the field, and just it was cool. Yeah, really cool.
Your dad had to be in great shape.
He was very good shape, and like I said, after he retired is when it was different. But yeah, he I think he could have gone for another 10 years easily, doing what he's doing. He loved it, so it was and it's they worked all year to get in shape for it, but it was. He'd worked the spring games, he'd worked spring practices and all that stuff, but it wasn't kind of full time. I think a lot of it's full time for these guys now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't full time for him. I would have liked it to have been full time, because that was a good gig. And a lot of guys,
I think it should be full time.
Well, a lot of the pros are, and I think a lot of those guys back then would make the jump, and he just never made the jump to the pro game. He didn't like the pro game. So he never made. I think he had opportunities to do it, but he just never made that.
What year did he retire?
You make me lie now.
Or
all these years run together.
What?
It had to be early 90s.
90s, okay.
Early 90s, I think.
LSU football got so bad he
had to get out. He was done with it. He was done with it.
I probably would have retired.
Yeah, exactly. Go part of that. It was tough back then.
Curly Hallman and all that crew.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Wait for 2000 to come around. That's when it started getting good again.
Yeah, exactly. I know we wanted to talk about the family experience.
Yeah, that was interesting. Just me and all the girls.
Yeah.
So I would drive the RV, and they would be all through the back. All of us in the one RV, and wherever we got to, we would either have a little camp little build, a little camp house for them for everybody to stay in, or someone would stay in the RV. I had my room in the back that was mine, and I stayed there. And so wherever you stay, that's fine. But some of them camped out in tents and slept in the RV, slept in little cabins at different places. It was pretty cool. And we'd cook at nights, and just spend a lot of time together. And it's
So how many days did that cover?
4, probably 5, 4 or 5.
Each
trip was like that.
Y'all were glad to get home your own way, I imagine.
What's that? Oh, yes. Well, it's hard for us to
see you guys.
It's hard. It's hard for us to go our own ways because we're all right there together anyways. We all work together at the two places.
There's no going your own way.
No, there's no going your own way.
Yeah.
And we'll fight. We'll fight like cats and dogs. 1 minute, but then love on each other the next. So it's always fun.
I saw somebody at the wedding the other night and there's 2 people talking. They're like, "Oh, yeah, we're cousins." I'm like, "Of course you're cousins." Never knew that.
Lots of them here in town.
That makes perfect sense.
A very big family in this town, and it's good. It's great to have.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
To have. But yeah, the trip with the girls was really exciting. It was, and we'll plan another one coming up and try to hit the other schools. So we kind of maybe make our way around like Arkansas and kind of go around. I don't know if we'll get to South Carolina as much, but I don't think he ever did anything at South Carolina.
Yeah.
So
that's why I was thinking the schools that got added on. I think in the 90s, was it South Carolina and Arkansas?
It's South Carolina and Arkansas.
I think they got added at the same time.
And then you had Tennessee, you had Texas A&M and Missouri.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah. So those are the ones. But he and I may have gotten the trip we took, the first leg or something, I may have messed up.
I can't imagine trying to keep up.
It was. I thought I had it all in my head, but it was kind of confusing. But they were fun trips.
Yeah,
fun trips.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me kind of glance down.
I'm hoping I can get them in here to talk a little bit about it.
That'd be great.
I know that I wanted to also talk about the Wardez run that you guys did.
Yeah, we just finished up a couple weeks ago. We had to do it a week earlier this year because of the wedding. It's usually the second weekend in December, and it raises money for the Ward Graning Memorial Scholarship, which we give to. We started this past year, given to one to each student at each high school. AC, Cathedral, Natchez High, and then one Concordia Parish kid. And it's we give it to they submit little essays or little bits and pieces about themselves, and we kind of go off who exemplifies the way Ward was. And we've been pretty successful. We've given close to $20,000 in scholarships since his death in 2019. And this past year, like I said, we included the other schools. Yeah. We tried to make it a community-wide event. And first year we had probably right at 150 runners. We kind of threw it together real quick. And then last year we had 230 runners.
Wow. Yeah.
People sign up. This year we had right at 200. But I think the weather, being an off week like that, it was a different week. We had a new timing system guy. The weather.
This was the third year already?
Third year.
Wow.
The weather was kind of suspect this year, so we didn't have a lot of people didn't show up that we'd have show up on the day just to register. But it was still pretty successful. I think we had close right at 200 signed up, and we had a little right at 100 run that morning. But it was pretty good.
So what was your reaction when Ward told you if he was going to Alabama to play football?
I didn't mind it back then. I thought it was kind of. I knew he loved Alabama. He was always part of Alabama. He went to a place called TMI right out of high school, Tennessee Military Institute.
Okay.
It was right outside of Knoxville. It's a post-grad school. And they would play, back then, they would play JV teams, like Tennessee's JV, or they drove. I remember playing at Ole Miss. We went and watched them at Ole Miss one time, playing at Ole Miss's JV teams. And that's back when, like I said, you had JV squads, in which, now your freshmen play.
Yeah.
They didn't play back then.
Right.
They went on a JV squad and did that. But he did that, and once he left there, he went straight to Alabama to walk on. Wow. And I loved what he did. I don't think it sat very well with my grandparents. My grandparents just hated Alabama because of Chick. The happening with Chick at Georgia Tech back when Chick was playing. And they did not like Alabama. And so it kind of.
Well, what was Chick's reaction?
I think I never really. I don't know. I think he was okay with it.
You can't blame that.
He never really said but I knew my grandparents weren't happy. But he he did it, and he was a warrior for you, man. I'm telling you, he didn't have the size, didn't have the speed, but he had the want to do it.
He had the heart.
He had the heart and want to do it, and that's what it takes. And he lived his dream.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of kids now, they don't go and they think, I don't need to go do that. I'm gonna walk on. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
And they regret it the next year or two, or the rest of their life. I mean, I still regret not going and walking on at LSU. I went and walked on to Delta State up there, and I just still don't know why I didn't just, if I was going to walk on somewhere, why not just do it where I wanted to do it?
Yeah.
And I still regret it. So people have regret. He doesn't have regrets. And he got a ring for it. Bear Bryant, when he was won his 315th win, and he was part of the team. He got a ring.
Wow.
And so he got something out of it, which is great. So but yeah, he loved Alabama.
We'll do another segment after this, but we'll run this one a little bit longer because I want to hear your thoughts on it. We'll make our closing segment a little shorter, but since we have him here, there's a couple things I was going to bring up to you, Joey. Get both of y'all's thoughts on it. Is the JUCO ruling that came down a couple days ago about the Vandy quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously about to change a lot.
It's going to change a lot.
I mean, basically, from my understanding, the judge ruled that his junior college years would not count towards his.
That's huge.
So what do you guys think about the trickle down as far as the high school level?
I think what it is it's kind of like that, like I said, but the post-grad school board went to. It'll be kind of like that. I mean, you go and you get basically 2 years out of it, and a lot of these kids need that without being punished, and then they get their 4 years. I don't have a problem with that. I kind of like it.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it'll increase the football at the junior college level.
Oh, junior college, really?
If you can go and get developed there, and then move on, a lot of these colleges will place kids there. I mean, they've already doing that some, but they will really do it now.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I was thinking about was how does that affect the high school kids because there's less roster spots coming out now because the people are staying more eligibility, so that means less roster spots. But I guess you saying that, I guess these kids now maybe go to JUCO and build their skills up. That would make sense.
Yeah. And probably most of them won't stay 4 years anyway.
No, it'd be a farm system for the colleges now, like the college is for pros. That's what it's becoming. And so the junior colleges will be, and Mississippi's got probably the most junior colleges of any state in the country as far as, especially with athletics.
They've been very successful over the years.
So it'll be, there'll be major colleges placing kids here.
And then the other thing that I was going to bring up, get y'all's thoughts on was, all this stuff's moving so fast. It's like every other week, it's like a new landscape. It's like a whole nother world. But something that I've noticed at LSU, they had a very good high school signing class, but this year they're focusing more on the portal than they did last year. Ole Miss did it last year. But now there's that question that's like, should you spend $12 million on Underwood, or should you go get guys that are already pretty good players?
I like that idea. Yeah. I just can't see spending that much money on. I mean, he's probably going to be great quarterback, but that's a lot of money for somebody who's never played.
Got the experience, yeah.
Because you've seen a lot of 5 stars that have come out that you think, okay, they're going to be great coming into college, and then they're not.
Right.
You never hear from them.
Yeah, they come in,
or they're not. They take 2 or 3 years to start playing.
Yeah,
everybody's a star in high school. At that level, I mean,
they were naming the other day some of the players that were paid like $2 million or whatever. They were terrible. Like they went to the school, took this money, and they had 4 tackles.
There's got to be some accountability for it somewhere along the line.
But you like the idea of spending more money in the portal
to give it to the high school kids? Yes.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, in LSU, I think they lost 16 to the portal this year, they picked up a bunch in the portal.
I think man to man, I think every one of them, 90% of them, they ended up with better than left.
I think so. I think some of them were probably ones that they tried to weed out.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy way to weed them out is go ahead and hit the portal. But yeah, I think they picked up a pretty good class from there.
Man, another thing about the portal that there's over 2,000 kids in the portal.
That's crazy.
I wish they'd wait till after the bowl season.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the draft during the World Series.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, right in the middle of the World Series,
Yeah.
then the kids get drafted. So yeah, I just don't like that at all. Yeah. But you've got to do it quick enough to where they can enroll in school for the spring semester. So I don't know. I mean,
well, there's one of the guys that just that's their game. They're playing in the playoffs, and he just announced he's transferring. Whatever. And he was
backup quarterback for Penn State.
Yes, and
backup quarterback.
And it's just like there's a no-win situation. He didn't want to do it. His coach was like, we didn't want him to leave. He didn't want to, like right now in the middle of all of this, but the NCAA or whoever's in charge these days, I don't even know, just puts the kids in a bad position.
That's right. They set the date for it, and it's just the wrong date.
And it's killing the minor bowls because these guys are not playing.
You saw Marshall just completely.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, the entire team.
Yeah, the school just said we don't want to play, and so I guess it opened up for Louisiana Tech. Yeah,
man.
So it's an opportunity for another school that really wants to try to be there.
That's right.
But
what a time to be
these
a fan.
kids that can just jump ship right now. Just you don't know what you're going to get from game to game right now, or season to season. You don't know what kids you're going to have on the team.
That's right.
And then lastly, I guess before we let you out of here, because I know you're busy, but what are your thoughts? This is the first year of the 12-team playoff. It was a weird year, man. There was like no dominant teams really. I guess you could say Oregon went undefeated, but I mean,
well, that's still there. You're going to see that from here on out, the parity because of the money.
Yeah,
I mean, you can go out and get your team just like that, but yeah, I mean, you still see everybody with a loss except for Oregon. So it's tough on all these.
Do you like the idea of having 12 people in the party?
I like more than that, actually.
Really?
What
would you do if you could design it?
I would at least 16.
Yeah,
at least 16. Because especially if you're going to add these schools like Boise, and stuff who do not play a schedule.
Yeah,
really work the up. So they get in when some of these other teams are playing these monster schedules, and even though they may have 2 losses, they're still a heck of a lot better.
I think what we learned this year was there's no reason to schedule.
No.
Every team that just won the games on their schedule got rewarded.
That's right. And no reason to have a tough schedule, and I still don't understand why LSU leads off with somebody big each year instead of having a game first and then that. It's maddening.
They're fun to watch.
Oh, they're great games.
But it's just poor strategy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad schools are doing it, but God, it's tough.
Yeah.
To open up something like that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and we haven't had the best record at it.
No, we have started off the last 5 years and not been good.
Is it 5 now?
Yeah, I think it's 5. And I haven't been to. Well, I think it's 5.
I knew it was 4 or 5. I knew it was at least 4. Yeah.
I think I've been to all of them except for one.
Yeah,
I didn't go to Florida State and Orlando, but the other ones I did, so it's not me. I made all the other ones, so it was. If I'd have won that one, I'd say, okay, I'm not going again. But I keep, beating my head against the wall and doing it the first game. It's because it's fun trips.
It's always a good time.
But it's not good football.
Yeah.
Not good football.
Well, Joey, you want to?
I can't have you on here without talking. You and your crew, the job y'all do on Cathedral football field.
Yeah, I tell you what,
phenomenal.
It takes a lot of work, a lot of people to do it. I just do the little grunt work as far as cutting grass and getting it ready and stuff. But we have a paint crew. Barry Osminger heads up the paint crew, and it just for high school fields to be able to do the stuff that we do to it, it's pretty cool.
It is awesome.
Yeah, we it's a 2-day deal.
Yeah, I sit over here and look at those fields over in Concordia Parish, and then come look at yours and go, wow.
Yeah, we've got we do the end zones now. We do the big wave in the middle, which is Barry does a lot of freehand and stuff, and he's good with the paint machine, but he's a hard worker. God, he's hard. He's there all the time. Just it's a credit to our. I don't know who he is, how he is, because he doesn't have any ties to Cathedral. He doesn't. His kids graduated, but he's still there for everything. He and his wife.
That's what it takes.
It does. It takes that. And we I don't know. We enjoy it.
Yeah, it shows.
We enjoy it, and that's what it takes to make it good.
Yeah.
So,
well, man, we sure do appreciate you coming in, and
thank y'all. Like I said, I'll try to get the sisters here to
definitely
do that, so they can tell the stories better than I can.
Yeah.
That may not be.
I don't know if that's true.
It might be, because they'll tell you what I did. I put my earphones, my earpods in when I was driving, and just if they needed something, they would yell at me.
Are there any stories?
They would try to yell at me, and I would act like I never heard it.
Are there any stories that you want to defend while you're here before they come in? And
well, the one that I'm gonna have to defend is that we were at the Stone Mountain Park, and me and my sister, I was still in the RV. They were all outside. We'd come back from somewhere, and somebody shut the door, and Kathy and I were in the RV, and the lock broke on the door. It just broke off. So I'm sitting there, and we're stuck in the RV. They're all outside. And I'm sitting there trying to do everything I can to get this lock, because it basically broke in half. So it was past that thing part. So I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't open. I couldn't. I mean, I did everything I could. I drilled it. I hit on it with a hammer. I took it all apart. Took the door frame apart. Yeah, I took the door frame apart. I did everything I could, and I beat on it with a hammer so much trying to get it open that a guy in an RV a couple places down had heard it. And it was starting to get dark it was dark by then. And the girls were outside, and people were getting hungry. Mosquitoes were starting to get them. They couldn't get in unless you climbed through the window. And he came over and brought over a drill. And I was able to drill the whole door lock out and opened it. And once it was open, then I could deadbolt it, but I couldn't do anything else. It would shut, but it wouldn't stay shut. You had to do stuff. So we basically had to go the rest of the way back from Atlanta. We went back to Tuscaloosa and those areas, and came back to Natchez with the door like that.
Oh my goodness!
But yeah, it was about a 4-hour deal.
Oh my goodness!
Thank God that the guy heard me beating on it with a hammer. Somebody, I guess he got tired of it, so he came over and brought me.
He's like, "Please,
who is this guy beating on this thing?" So,
who is he beating it there? Yeah.
So he brought the drill over, and we were able to get it out. So, but yeah, that's been the funniest probably story.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
Well, we need to mention, you said something about there's going to be a documentary.
Yes, my nieces and nephew's daughter, their wife is they're working on it now. So hopefully
that'd be awesome.
Hopefully she can get in here and talk about it before she gets. It's almost finished, I think.
That'd be cool.
She keeps telling me it's almost finished.
We'll be glad to get her in and promote it whenever.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be cool, man.
It'd be a great way to do it. But yeah, it's a fun trip, and we'll plan another one. And it was just she wrote a blog. She wrote kind of on the first trip. She wrote a little blog each time.
I saw something.
Yeah, it was a little blog for each trip, each stop.
That was really good.
She would do it, and it was funny. People loved it.
And
that's what people kept carrying.
Yeah,
they kept asking, when y'all gonna do another trip, or when y'all gonna? We're on the trip. You're saying, where's our updates? Where are updates? And she's like, that's when she's working on the documentary. So she didn't want to put a lot out yet before she gets that done. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Being able to spend time with the family is just that kind of time.
Oh,
besides working and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's you want to pull each other's hair out, but
it's still fun. Even when you're hammering on doors, that's what makes the memories. Those are the memories that you'll.
That's right.
Yeah. You're not happy. You might say a few little words at the time.
Well, especially when they're all outside asking for stuff from inside, and Kathy's trying to give them stuff, and I need Kathy with the light shining on when I'm sitting there doing stuff. So it got messy for a while. It got messy.
You can laugh.
That almost kicked everybody out and drove home myself.
It's one of those. We're gonna laugh about this one day.
One day.
Not gonna be today.
It wasn't that day. I can tell you that it wasn't that day at all.
Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna let you get out of here, and we appreciate it because
thank you.
I can feel my stomach rumbling. I'm probably gonna follow you over to Wardays whenever I get out of here. So I'll probably see you again in a minute.
Stop here for a second.
That's right. Well, man, we appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do in the
community. Thank you all for everything. Thank you, Joey. Thank you.
And we'll be right back to wrap this thing up.
Playtime, game time. Anytime is a good time at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. Unwrap excitement with our $15,000 Christmas cash drawings, a prize-packed New Year's Eve celebration, and our ATV giveaway on January 1st. 'Tis the season for winning at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
Hey y'all, it's Ronnie and Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partner, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chicks.
Hicks Chicks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know that they are also open to the public?
Hicks Chicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish.
And don't forget about their delicious burgers that are already pattied up for you, and their amazing dessert options.
So stop by today at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Road in Natchez. Hicks Chicks.
Way more than just chicken.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, and I want to tell you about our awesome partners, Wardo's Po' Boys. Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Graning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country. We want to tell you about our champion partners, Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Chair Bay Rum, J&J Flooring Natural Stone, Concordia Bank, and all of our awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them and tell them Miss Lou Champion sent you. All right, guys, we are back in for our final segment, and our instructions from our producer over here was don't be terrible, bring it. So no pressure. But Tom just brought it. That was he bailed us out at least. So yeah, that was pretty good.
That was really good.
Always a good time to sit down with our buddy.
Yeah, and some interesting stuff, and just with the door story and the ashes, which allegedly, yeah. I mean, it just happened to just fall.
Yeah, allegedly.
Sometimes
accidents happen. I don't know. I'm out of that one for any legal purposes. Oh man. Yeah, we always appreciate Tom and everything he does in the community, man. He's one of those guys that's like you. He does a lot. He's been doing a lot in this community for a long time.
And a great guy.
Yeah. And his whole family, his whole family's like that. They just good people, and you better not talk about the Granings if you're around town because they are related to everybody
and respected by everyone.
Not that you would anyway, but we better watch it because they know they are related to everybody.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was another great show. Just before we get out of here, real quick. Just talking about the playoffs start this weekend. I think tonight because we're recording right now on a Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
I think
Indiana and Notre Dame.
It's snowing in Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy, man. I'm looking forward to watching my first ever college football 12-team playoff game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Georgia to me got the best positioning that they could possibly get. I mean, you know that all the teams are pretty decent if they're there, but if you look at the two sides of the bracket, it's like there's one side that's way stronger than the other side. And I think it's Georgia that's on that side, right?
Right.
And I know they just lost their quarterback, but they have a prime opportunity to come through there.
It wasn't like he was tearing it up either.
Man, Oregon, I feel like, got the raw deal. I mean, they might have the toughest road to the to the championship.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know how they put.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them beat out second round.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they put that together and all that. I'm glad it wasn't me, but yeah, it just seems like whenever they finished it, somebody would have looked at me like, wait a second, this looks off.
That would have made too much sense. They don't.
And then the other thing that we were talking about with Tom a while ago was just, I think the board or whatever it is, the committee, whatever they want to call themselves these days, I think they made it clear that there's no reward for playing a tough schedule now.
Yeah. It's not like the PowerPoints in high school.
Yeah. I'd like to see them fix that, because I like to see teams get rewarded.
Right.
For even if you lose a close game, losing a close game against the top 5 team should not count against you. And beating the Sisters of the Poor shouldn't count for you, in my opinion. To me, I respect this team that loses by 2 points on the road to a top 5 team versus beating this team by.
Which is playing an SEC schedule. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just, who do you want to make any predictions on what's going to happen?
I'm going to go with Georgia. I think it's Georgia or Texas, but I'm going to pick Georgia to win it all. I think they're battle tested.
Yeah. They show up in big games, it seems like. When their back's against the wall, it seems like they show up. Ohio State will be interesting to watch just because of I could see them coming out with their hair on fire after what happened with Michigan and playing some great ball, or I could see them just falling flat.
Absolutely.
Because they were deflated. Tennessee's a pretty good team, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But who do you see coming out of that game?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Tennessee upset them.
Really?
Yeah. And you've got 2 great games just not in there. Michigan, Alabama. What a great game that's going to be. Of course, we'll be interested in LSU and Baylor with Rhonda and see how that goes.
Yeah. I think Ohio State will sneak that one out, but I mean, that's no surprise.
Just never know. Yeah,
Tennessee does have a pretty good team. And I would love to see Tennessee go up there and give it to them.
And like you say, the weather could play a factor in some of those northern games.
Well, man, we anything else you want to hit on for?
That ought to do it. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I appreciate you as always. And
same here.
Look, you guys, some of them, I don't know if people understand the job that you do, covering all these local sports. I mean, you do the best job of anybody in this area.
It's a lot of fun.
I know that you don't like to hear that, but I just want my viewers to know, get that Concordia Sentinel every week. Joey puts his heart and soul into this thing, as they say.
Appreciate it.
And it's
appreciate all you do, buddy.
Man, well, we appreciate you and love doing this show every week. And I guess we'll just say Merry Christmas to everybody, because we won't see you again. We won't see you guys again until early January. But Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to everybody out there. Thank you to all of our amazing partners who made this another fun year for us. And God bless everybody out there. And as always, have a champion day.
Even you, Dustin.
Even Dustin.